Welcome back to Analytical Media. We are a consortium, a group of therapists, college professors, and well-published, peer-reviewed authors. Today we're going to play a game. It's going to be called Name That Criminal. So, it's fill in the blank. It could be just identify it, shout out the answer. Could be a felon of many different types. It could be a terrorist. Just name that criminal. I'm going to give you the clues. First clue, age 43, as of November 2025. Residence, Grafton, New Hampshire. That's a large rural property. This individual previously had lived in Milford, New Hampshire. He had many conflicts with the law over legal compliance, licenses, and taxes. He was arrested November 7th, 2025 in the evening in Grafton, Merrimack County, New Hampshire. Just shout out the answer when you have it. The agencies that were involved in procuring this arrest: U.S. Marshals, Special Operations Group, SAUG, SOG. Provided tactical support for the high-risk operation. Also, the District of New Hampshire Joint Fugitive Task Force led the investigation and located the individual. Also, Merrimack County Sheriff's Office, MCSO, handled transportation and the execution of the search warrant and initial custody. Here's the details of the operation. The NHJFTF located the individual on his property and requested SAUG's assistance, SOG assistance, due to this individual's history of violence and potential armament. SAUG surrounded the property and the individual surrendered without incident. MCSO then executed a search warrant on the premises. Outcome: the individual was apprehended peacefully and transported by MCSO. The search uncovered a significant weapons cache, leading to additional charges. No injuries or further resistance was reported. The original warrants was that the fugitive was wanted by MCSO on 2 counts of failure to appear related to prior felony charges, felon-in-possession of a firearm, 2 counts, operating a motor vehicle as a habitual offender, 2 counts. These stemmed from his non-compliance with court appearances for ongoing felony investigations. Items seized during the arrest and the search warrant revealed a stockpile of weapons, indicative of preparation for confrontation or evasion. Several types of firearms were reported: 3D printed firearm components, multiple 3D lowers, unserialized lower receivers for ghost guns, no serial number, and they fit ghost guns, which are unregulated homemade firearms, which of course modern technology has given us the ability to have unregistered firearms, no serial numbers. Also seized was explosive materials and devices, various types of explosive, potentially including improvised devices. Ammunition, assorted types and quantities, were seized. These findings escalated the case, highlighting public safety risks. Charges filed after the arrest, following an in-depth search, had this individual facing at least 12 new felony counts from MCSO. These included 3 new counts of possession of explosives, which is unlawful for a felon, and 1 count of resisting arrest. No court date has been publicly announced as of November 13th, 2025, but proceedings are expected in Merrimack County Superior Court This individual has a criminal history and extensive record going back over a decade, primarily involving violent crimes, drug offenses, and repeated violations of release conditions. There was a bank robbery February 24th, 2015. He was sentenced to 51 months in federal prison and made full restitution. Then he became a fugitive 4 years later in July 2019. He was actually designated U.S. Marshals, quote, Fugitive of the Week for breaching federal release terms after his 2016 conviction. He was located via public tips at a Fremont Street residence/employer. Arrested without incident by NHJFTF and was transported by the U.S. Marshals. Then we move ahead, little things in between. We move ahead to January 8th, 2020, where once again he robs a bank in Derry, New Hampshire. He robbed People's United Bank by passing a demand note. He was spotted running to a nearby Wendy's. Police arrested him and recovered the cash. He pled guilty to that, by the way. And let's not blame Wendy's. I think they had nothing to do with it. He was independent. He was just a bad guy, but a hungry bad guy. In 2025, he had multiple convictions for possession, sale of controlled substances, and narcotics, and an additional charge of escape from custody. And here's the pattern. This individual shows escalation from drug-related crimes to violent felonies, bank robberies, and repeated fugitive status. And here's finally a statement from the county sheriff, David Croft. Thanks to the swift cooperation between the U.S. Marshals, our task force, and our deputies, a heavily armed suspect wanted on multiple warrants is now safely off the streets. Our community can rest easier tonight. And here are the broader implications in this report. The broader implications. This case underscores the risks posed by this type of person, who often stockpiles weapons and rejects law enforcement, leading to fortified properties and potential standoffs. The peaceful resolution highlights effective interagency coordination. And now it's time for you to play Name That Criminal. Just shout out the answer if you have it. If you don't have it, I'm going to give you some multiple choice answers. Is it A, a violent criminal? B, property criminal? C, white collar criminal? D, organized crime? E, a hate crimes felon? Or F, none of the above? The answer is F, none of the above. Now I will once again read you the broader implication statement, and that will explain it all. This case underscores risks posed by, ready for it, sovereign citizens who often stockpile weapons and reject law enforcement, leading to fortified properties and potential standoffs. Yep, sovereign citizens. Many papers, many reports, many articles, of course, claim that sovereign citizens are not violent. Not a problem at all. Others take the opposite tact, that it is a danger. In this case, this man was a long-time sovereign citizen and bank robber and drug dealer. Remember, he was a convicted felon. He wasn't allowed to have any of those weapons, but he had stockpiled those weapons. He had begun to make his own weapons that would be unregistered with 3D printers. Now, is this an innocuous individual? Is this type of individual no danger, not innocuous? This is an individual who rejects law enforcement. It rejects laws, who fortifies their properties, many cases of that, making booby traps for law enforcement. They are largely ignored in the United States. And pretty much that's true in Canada too. Not because law enforcement government doesn't know that they're dangerous and could be really dangerous and can stockpile weapons, can form cults. No. That's why they're not dangerous. That's why they ignore it. Largely ignored by government. Even ignored by the court system oftentimes. Ignored in the sense that we don't have time for this. We don't have time for this sovereign citizen nonsense, because we got bigger fish to fry. And so then they save the court's time, not recognizing they are reinforcing the beliefs of sovereign citizens. The reason that they treat it like it's no big deal, the government, really of both countries, is that there aren't enough sovereign citizens to cause a big problem. They cause a problem where they go, but there aren't enough of them to cause a big enough problem that the government has to write a law or build a new prison or hire more judges, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed playing Name That Criminal, Name That Crook. You like a better name? Put it down in the comments section. We're open to suggestions. Name That Crook. This is Analytical Media. Hope you had a little fun with us today. I hope this also showed you sovereign citizens can be really dangerous. You know that though, because they have killed police officers, members of the court. You know that. But anyway, I thought we'd have a little fun, so a more fun way to look at the dangers of sovereign citizens, a little satirical way. Okay, Analytical Media, signing out. Hope everything's gone well for you and your family. Please help us to help other people. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and join us in the next video. Until then, please take care.